culture, a society, and a goal. But we all bring our own kind of, perspectives and all that to the table. I like that idea. I like the idea of it. I'm not sure it quite works that way as we're seeing, but one second. What Bill Maher said were things like, he said that London switching, the culture being replaced there, basically white people being replaced as the majority, that they were whites, Europeans were the indigenous people there. He says that it's a victory that they've been replaced. He says that we deserve a pat on the back. I don't know who he means by we. Does he mean white people? Does he consider himself white? I'm not sure about that.
All right, so I'm gonna have to stop.
We'll get into that.
I'm gonna have to stop you for a minute.
Wait. Let me finish. Okay. He says we've achieved. I'm almost done. He says we've achieved this goal. We've achieved it, and that there's more to do. So once whites are replaced as the majority, there's still more to do. So this all sounds kind of nefarious to me. I don't think necessarily that he's nefarious. I think maybe he's got a brain virus where it's this virtue signaling thing where he feels very virtuous by saying these things without fully thinking them through. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Dank, go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to point out is that England has not really been like white European for about 100 years now. There are other colors of Europeans in England than white people.
Well, of course.
So when you're saying that, when you're saying that white people are being replaced,
talking about Anglo-Saxon.
But you're saying two different things because you're saying Anglo-Saxon. Just let me fucking talk. Because you're saying that white people are being replaced in London.
No, I didn't quite say that. I was trying to be very specific. I don't think you
does replacing white people make society better? Is that not the title?
Majority.
Does replacing the debate title on the screen says does replacing white people make society better? Because white people are all lumped in
together. Let's not pretend. Yeah, let's not pretend that we segment all the different white European cultures. That we're all lumped in as white. So that's the pretext I'm going based on.
Okay. So there are two different things being said here. There is one being said that there are less white people in London. But how many Europeans are in London? Because as I said,
London is
Europeans now are not just white.
Anglo-Saxon, correct?
I don't fucking care about I don't care about the indigenous people, dude. Fucking shut up. Let me fucking get my thought out, okay?
Suddenly that doesn't matter.
England decided that they wanted to start bringing people in from other countries to serve them hundreds of years ago, which means that now the native population of England is not just Anglo-Saxon. So Anglo-Saxon fucking sucks a goddamn cock, dude. I don't care about Anglo-Saxons. What we're talking about is, are Europeans being replaced by immigrants, which is what you're trying to say, or are white people being replaced by the damned coloreds?
There's actually a lot. There's actually it's pretty like there's a lot of things going on really here. I mean, like, so yes, white people are being replaced as the majority, and yes, the traditional culture that has been there for hundreds of years is being replaced.
Okay,
can you guys hear me?
Yes, and my question is simply this. It's being celebrated as this great thing. I'm simply asking, why is it a good thing? That's it.
Go ahead, Robert. Anybody here?
And all your rambling there, Dank, you didn't say that. What's the good thing about it?
We do hear you, Robert. I'll give you a chance for your intro in just 1 second once Brandon and Drone have lulled off.
Dank, are you going to tell me what the benefit is for the white majority that's becoming the minority?
Do you want to tell?
What's the benefit to the society?
Do you want to tell me what the backdrop is, or what the
No, well,
what the problem is?
Well, okay.
So I mean, your whole thing is that diversity is not good. Your whole thing is that diversity is not good. In the chat, you wanted to say that there are good cultures and there are bad cultures. So my next question would be,
right,
what is a good culture and what is a bad culture?
I'm saying there's better cultures and there's cultures that are not as good. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So what is a good culture and what is a bad culture?
Would you say our culture is pretty good?
Well, yeah, actually, I do agree. I believe that
Western culture.
Hold on a second.
Pretty good.
No, I would not. So first of all, I would say the culture inside the police force in America is very bad. Yeah, I would say that's a horrible culture,
bro.
I would say that the culture within people that want to make sure that nothing ever changes, that everything just stays the same because they are doing okay, or they view themselves as doing okay. I think that's a pretty bad culture. But no, I don't really think that any people's culture, as in, you know, American culture or European culture or Asian culture or Arabian culture, I don't think any of those cultures are bad. I do believe that there are bad people that take a hold of those cultures. Shut up. I do believe that there are bad people that take a hold of those cultures and do bad things with them.
We can simplify this. Which culture on the planet would you say we need to emulate? We need to like, if you were to replace American culture or Western culture, if you can generalize it, what would you like? Which culture or society on the planet would you replace it with?
Why would I have to replace something?
Well, because you're acting like there's like it's so like amorphous.
Do they still
everything basically the same, and there's no like.
Do they still speak English in Britain or in London?
No, why can't you just answer my question?
Do they still have bad teeth?
So you're telling me that there's all these problems with American culture. So which one would you replace it with? I didn't say.
Wait a second, dude. No, I didn't say there were. Okay. Yes, there are problems with American culture. That doesn't mean I want to replace American culture. That means I want to fix American culture.
Okay. You don't want to replace it. Interesting. So what do you think you're doing? Like London is a great example. Like, what do you think's happening there? It's being replaced with a majority Muslim culture. Do you think in the end that's going to end up better for the society there?
Do they not speak English in London right now? Do they not have bad teeth? Do they not still drink tea?
Dude, I'm drinking tea right now.
It's fading. I mean, they were just talking about in that Bill Maher piece I played that they're not. Like that's not a thing.
That's not what they were talking about. They were talking about a skin color, dude. They weren't fucking talking about a culture.
Did you watch the clip, the Bill Maher clip?
Yes, I did. And Bill Maher was so goddamn fucked up, he couldn't even get the fucking stat out right. I don't fucking know what the stat is. He could fucking
fucked up. He didn't know what he was saying.
All right, guys.
Okay.
No, not that he didn't know what he was saying.
You can't defend it. Everybody's watching. He can't defend it, so it's Bill Maher was fucked up. Okay, here we go.
Bill Maher is always fucked up. He has a show where he smokes weed, gets high, and interviews people.
All right, so I won that one.
Let's just put it on the side burner for now. You guys can get back into it, but I want to give Rob some respect for coming, so I'd like to give him the first chance to do an intro if he wants and have any thoughts he has on it. The original debate topic that I'd prepped for was change my mind. Whites becoming minority through mass immigration is a bad thing. So Robert, if you want to have any thoughts on that, try and keep it to 2 minutes if you can, and then we'll hand it off to Smoke, Steve, and Tyler. And then I'll open it back up for everybody to get back into it.
Okay, I got a question for the group. How many countries have you lived in?
2,
20.
Damn.
I've lived in 5.
2,000.
I've actually lived in 5. I lived in the UK. I've lived in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Cyprus, stopped in Poland for a while, and I've also, besides the US. So I can tell you things that you don't probably know. probably you have no idea about. One of them is, yes, UK is being replaced by Muslims. Most of the majority of the people over there are probably Poles or Romanians. They know there's a problem right now. You guys don't know there's a problem right now. Saudi Arabia is probably the most racist country I've ever been to in my life. U.S. holds no candle next to them. You have no idea what it's like to work there. UAE, on the other hand, is probably one of the nicest places I've worked at. They are some super nice people over the local Emirates, but they're also super rich. So they kind of look down on you. Cyprus is the only place I've ever lived to in my life that I actually want to retire. London, I would not. Great place to visit, fantastic museums, but if I was given a choice, unless I'm wearing a stabby vest, I don't want to live there. It puts Chicago to shame.
Steve, man, you had your chance.
Yeah.
Where's Atlas?
So when you guys talk about all these different countries, you better know that you better have lived there, or else you do not have a position to stand on. Because I'm one of the few that have actually been around. I've also been to Vietnam. Love that place too.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
don't.
probably going to go to another country here also, because I work for the Department of Defense. I get to go everywhere. Been in Afghanistan and in Iraq. So, Drone, you actually know my name because we've talked before. We
Yeah,
actually,
I know you.
yeah, we have a history.
You've been
So,
around a while.
yeah, I've been around a long, long time. So the rest of you guys, you're talking about replacement. Yes, it is taking place. Probably not the way you think, but yes, it is taking place.
Well, can I throw real quick out there about the whole replacement thing? And I'm not into any of these like supposedly like white supremacist conspiracy. I don't know anything about any of that. But what I do know is that Democrats have been talking about the demographic replacement and demographics is destiny and all that stuff since the late 90s. So and that's well documented. They want to replace white voters with what they believe will be brown people from all these mass immigration, mass illegal immigration that will vote Democrat. They think they will. Actually, it hasn't quite worked out that way, but I feel like they're gonna move. They're gonna make it happen that way.
Yeah, when you talk about Poland and Romania, now they're very conservative. They are actually against some of the stuff that's going on. So I don't know why they're taking a gamble on that in that perspective. You're right. I don't think it's going to turn out the way they think. And they might end up losing along with it.
But I still want to know. So we really only have Dank here to argue this side. I wish we had a couple more. But I need to be convinced.
You got Tyler, dude. Tyler's
Tyler.
here.
You guys, either of you guys, you got to tell me
I'll
does Bill Maher say? Why does Bill Maher and hold on? Why does Bill Maher and left wingers and so-called progressives? Why do they say that? And you hear it all the time. Why do they think that whites becoming minority is some sort of like progress? Like there's this board, and we're heading towards progress, and to achieve that, got to get rid of the white people. The white people are hindering that progress somehow. Like, why make this make sense to me?
Wasn't London traditionally like the upper class, like aristocracy island portion of England to begin with?
You're not going to answer the question.
That is the fucking answer to the question, dude.
Yeah. Before that, no. Before that, it was super poor.
Let me jump in there. And
so yes, that's going to improve it.
Yeah, give Tyler a chance to take his spot.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right. So the reason why somebody like Bill Maher would say that is because he has a little bit of a anti-conservative view, and personally for him, when he looks at voting demographics for the party, he sees white people voting against the things he likes in policy. Thus, he associates white people generally with his political opposition. It's just silly tribalism. And there is a bit of virtual signaling in because there are some good policies that came from the past that resulted in the diversity and the culmination of a bunch of different ethnic groups living together in a harmonious society. That is somewhat a victory lap for policies he supports.
Sorry.
So he just wants to go to heaven. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's saying my policy results have resulted in a more diverse community, and that's good. And also, I don't like Republicans or people that vote for them, so I'll be happy when that group goes away. I've heard different sentiments like that in the past.
Right, but here's my thing: is that if you have principles and you have this principle of like not broadly judging people based on skin color and not like otherizing groups of people, it seems like the left have gone. And it's weird because Bill Maher, on some level, seems to be self-aware about the woke stuff, but then like when he talks like that, like that's pure like critical race theory, like woke batshit crazy stuff to me, because it's like when you say you're anti-racist, but like everything surrounding all the belief system and all that around it is like, as far as I'm concerned, purely racist, like overtly. And it's like this trans shooter, you know, she picked her targets and talked about white privilege. And people like me have been talking for years that like white privilege is a dehumanizing, broad, you know, demonizing generalization, and it's racist and it's gonna cause problems. And here you go. And I guarantee this isn't the only example, but it's the only one we really know of.
Well,
So when you start talking about like, oh, it's progress, if the fewer white people there are, the closer to perfection we are, I guess. Like, how do you think that's going to end up?
Bill Maher, I can't defend his exact words. He's got a little bit of partisan brain rot.
Right, but it's not unique to Bill Maher. I mean,
Sure.
You're talking universities, the media, Joy Reid, like this is like mainstream, dude. It's everywhere.
There are quite a few people saying it, but the policies that they're legislating for and kind of trying to stand up for without the partisan brain rot part in there, then you could see like there is actually some good policy they're standing behind. I've made a long list of things that I would try to actually change your mind on that level if we ever get there.
Well, we can go for it.
I mean, that's a lot.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. Like I don't know if you probably didn't see it, but I had it in my opening of the stream. I explained that I'm all for the melting pot and cultures and everybody coming in here, and we all of us being united in common purpose and goal. Not necessarily like, you know, common ideology and common beliefs, but like we all basically believe in the same pursuit of happiness. You know,
All right,
I'm all for that.
I want to jump in there because that was my only point in this whole conversation, because it seemed like it was more going to be the more of the debate was about people coming in legally and wanting to be a part of our nation and uphold the Constitution. Because if that's the truth,
Right.
even if that's in a perfect world, it doesn't matter what color anybody is in anywhere. It's more a matter of a way of life of a certain people changing because of something.
Right. Like I'm really worried about the Constitution just going away. And it's like, it's not necessarily just because of this mass immigration, although I think they are probably going to be the most susceptible to just like completely dismissing it out, like totally. Right. But that's already, hold on real quick. That's already like a major problem with our own society, like in like our Dank was talking about our police force. Like our police force, they literally, like most of them think the Constitution is just like a joke, and if you like invoke it, you're some sort of crazy or something. Like it's bad. It's really bad, and like this is only going to make it worse. Good.
I would hope you're wrong.
Sorry,
Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
It's going to be the new generation that's going to do it, not mass immigration. It's going to be naive individuals out there. It's
going to be a combination.
Yeah, but
the youth of every nation.
How many of the people from other countries actually like the Constitution and the freedom it gives them? They don't want it to go away. It's these stupid communists that are being generated within our society. They're the problem, and they're going to wake up to a hard reality one day, and it ain't going to be pretty. But,
right, and we have all these.
People learn.
We have millions of people coming from these far left countries where, you know, they don't really have any sense of like freedom of speech or any of these things. And so they're coming to a country where our media and the dominant party right now, the Democrats, are really like demonizing like speech and certain rights as it pertains to their opposition. And that worries me too. And like these people are going to like they're going to get easily swept up to this propaganda, and they're going to be on board with whatever, you know, they and the government wants to do to their political opponents, which increasingly I think is going to be very bad, like violent. It's going to be bad. They're already like chasing down people who are just like walking around the Capitol and shit. Like
I got notes
like
on
years ago. That's messed up.
So a
Something's
lot of
not
people-
right.
Are you familiar with the CARE Act?
Hold on, give Tyler a chance because he was
Okay.
pulling in first. Sorry,
Yeah,
Rob.
a lot
Yeah.
of those people that are coming from those far left countries, Cuba and Venezuela in particular, are two that actually were susceptible to full blown socialism. A lot of people coming from those countries aren't the far leftists that endorse the government that's currently in place. A lot of them are the people that didn't get along with the government, those that were persecuted by the government
Right,
for
but-
being in the opposition party. So what you see with Cubans is they come in and they're like the strongest ally of Ron DeSantis in Florida, and Venezuelans are seemingly leaning right wing. It's a lot of people that come over as work migrant visas and such that are
Right. No, I agree. I said that earlier that it wasn't quite working out as they had hoped, but you got to understand, like, there's so many people coming into the country, and like I think these people they're coming into the country as it's being bombarded with this propaganda. Do you think they're going to be able to see through
Absolutely.
it? Like, maybe they will. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I hope so.
Romney was the compassionate conservative. Jeb Bush ran on this in 2016 as well. The compassionate border conservative to personalize border interactions and be less hard. Because the Hispanic community generally lines up more with conservatives on most issues, they're more against abortion than most white people in the United States. They're more against
Abortion's such a losing issue for the Republicans. They need to drop it.
If they picked up Hispanic vote on it, Hispanics are way more against abortion than white people are.
I think that's what they're going for. Yeah, for sure.
If you pick up
Maybe
all
smart.
these different religious groups, then the Hispanics and a lot of times black voters actually on issue to issue side more with the Republicans. The thing is, when you ask them, they think the Republican Party's racist and doesn't care about them. That's the reason they're deferred. An outreach program like Jeb Bush's compassionate border policy would have brought more of those people in. Now, Trump did increase the amount from 36 to 39, so he is still gaining at a steady rate with Hispanic. Romney is the one that's actually held accountable for bringing that large number in the first place.
Yeah, we can't. We need to let these people know we don't hate them. You know, this is propaganda. We have, laws and stuff and we cannot pander to them and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like give you everything you want if you like us. Like, I don't think we should do that ever. But
I don't want to keep cutting Robert off, but I have more statistics on the data of like what migrants do when they come to the United States. Now, first generation, like they just came over the border, understand the average U.S. citizen born in the United States. But if you have at least one migrant parent and you're the U.S. born child of a migrant parent, you excel way past U.S. born citizens because you have that. You came from that mentality. You didn't come from that meritocracy, and now you're in it. And that hard work that your parents inspired. And immigrants are 80% more likely per capita to start a business. They hire more people in these low skill businesses or low under 100 employee businesses, small businesses than non-Hispanic businesses do. So they're contributing greatly to the economy. Even illegal immigrants, it takes a couple generations. It takes about 2 generations, but eventually illegal immigrants, kids, grandkids, are a net positive to the economy as well. So just purely on the economic growth argument, it's a good one.
The first part you made where it was a legal situation, that's logical to me. I would hope that the second thing that you said about illegals in 2 generations working out that way is true. I guess I'm more skeptical on that, but I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, about 40 years of them sucking off the system
60.
till it gets to that generation that you're talking about. Now, let me tell you something. I was a subcontractor or contractor for years who did things legally. Now, when I go in and bid out jobs and other companies are coming in that aren't paying taxes, that are not doing shit legally, they don't have more workman's comp, and they don't even have liability insurance, but they're faking it all, dude, and they're getting these jobs illegally, essentially. That's total horseshit, man, and it undercuts Americans, and that's illegal.
Yeah, I'm not endorsing illegal immigration. I'm just saying from an economic perspective, it's a net positive to the GDP after 50 years.
Let me answer to the Bill Maher thing regarding London. So there's a lot going on over in the UK. There's a guy I follow on YouTube. I highly recommend everyone check out. He goes by the name of Based Welshman. He was going to protest daily to try to stop 200 middle-aged, 20 to 30-year-old male migrants who came over on boats were going to be put up in a hotel in a small British town of, 1,000 or so people. The UK government was going to pay for this, and it was something the town didn't want to have. They didn't want this. They felt threatened by it, and through their stand and their protests, they got this changed, which I think Welshmen should be proud of. The reason they didn't want it is because this mass immigration from these countries is causing like rape gangs. Have you guys heard about this? These grooming gangs in the UK? This shit is serious, man. And it's really happening. There's places that Sharia law is real in London. And also, all of these guys that came over on these boats now get immediately put into the healthcare system, which is free for everybody over there. These guys who just happen to make it there by boat now are allowed all these benefits that a British citizen is allowed, which now creates massive backups in the healthcare to actual British citizens because they're taking care of these fucking guys who came over on a boat and just made it there.
It devalues British citizenship.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah. And here in the state of Massachusetts, we ran out of fucking beds. So now this contingency of people like myself says, well, let's save some for the residents of the state who might come upon hard times. All of a sudden, oh my God, these people only want to give beds. No, we only can afford to keep so many families sheltered in this state. Maybe we could keep a percentage for state residents and not random people who are shipped here out of some system. Now, the state of New York has got 65,000 of these people. Massachusetts has about 7,500. So this is the way it's going around the country for states that are accepting these people, and it's fucking us all up, man.
Okay, so so I do want to kind of comment on that last thing there. A lot of homeless in the United States, they don't want to go to the shelters. Even homeless families don't want to go to the shelters because there are very few shelters that will keep families together. They will separate the men from the women and the children. Instead of putting them up in a private area where the family can be together away from the single people, they choose to separate the women and children into one area and the men all into another area. So a lot of American homeless families especially don't want to go into shelters.
That may be true, but not here in this state. This is a very liberal state, and they keep families together. That's state law here. Actually,
the state law doesn't matter because, God damn it, what is it? Goodwill? Yeah, Goodwill is, Salvation Army is like a religious institution. So the state laws about not separating families don't matter because they can't like stop their religious beliefs that men and women should not be together. So yeah, like it doesn't really matter what state you're in, if it's a Salvation Army especially, or any religious affiliated facility, the government regulations doesn't matter.
Okay, I was talking about purely state-funded shelter system.
Yeah, and religious institutions also get those state funds. Yes.
Sure, Franciscan House, all of those. Yeah, I hear you. They do good things, but you're right. Maybe for them, it's a matter of keeping people from freezing to death.
I've been in homeless shelters in Arizona. So like I kind of know like what that system is. And like I said, anyone that was a religious affiliated, there were a lot of rules that you had to abide by, and Americans don't want to abide by rules, especially adults. That we see ourselves as free people, and we want to do what we want to do. So, like, if you can find a homeless shelter that's not connected to a religious institution, then yeah, they're going to be a lot more open. But religious institutions typically are not.
Sure.
I wanted to give the chance to.
Go
Sorry,
No,
you-
go.
Robert.
Go.
We kind of cut you off a little bit earlier, put you on the back burner. You mentioned something about the Patriot Act. If you want to say
no.
anything about that or any other thoughts you have,
I
go
talked
for it,
about the CARE Act.
man. Oh, sorry, the CARE Act.
That's the Afghan relief effort.
No.
Yeah, that was something that Trump started years ago, and before the Afghanistan fell apart. Now, I was over in Afghanistan. I left about a year before it fell apart, and I went to Iraq. When it fell apart, it even affected me over there. But the Afghan relief effort. Now, some of the people that you saw on the TV, they were going on the airplane. I actually knew. One of the guys was he actually owned a small little shop on board where he sold, groceries, and he had jewelry and all the rest of it. He made it back, but his family got stuck over there. When he got back, they interviewed him, and they had a nice little video presentation of him being rescued, and they set him up in a hotel, not a hotel first, and they gave him an apartment with 3 other guys from Afghanistan, paid him $750 a month, gave him free training, free medical, and they also gave him the apartment for 1 year. It's only for 1 year. After that, he has to secure a job, and he has to, and they will work toward getting the rest of his family over. Now, so they were actually giving those people in Afghanistan. He was a collaborator with helping the United States. He wasn't an interpreter or nothing like that. He just had a little shop there, but he was on the base at Camp Alvarado. So I knew him, and I would talk to him every now and then, and I bought some challenge coins and patches, and occasionally I'd buy some toothpaste off him and all the rest of them. But he was a super nice guy. I have no problem with him coming over, because I know that if he stayed there, they would have killed him. And he might have already killed his family. He couldn't get his family over the wire. They were trapped on the other side. There was actually nothing he could do to save them. So he had to abandon them behind just to come to the United States with the hope that maybe in a couple of years he might see them again. I'm not sure if his brother made it over, because I only knew the one that did. But he was still incredibly grateful he managed to survive. And he was one of the few that did. Now, will ever he acclimate into it? I do not know. I don't know what he was. I don't know. I know he's in Austin, Texas right now. He spoke really good English, but so he had that one up that a few people didn't have. But if you're talking about some of the other ones coming across that they left on to come across because they wanted to, no, I screwed up in a way that you'll never ever fathom. Because he just wanted to let everybody have a chance, and he gave everybody money. He gave everybody an opportunity, but he drained our bank accounts to give somebody else from another country a chance to live here. We'll have to wait and see how this works out in time.
Yeah, and you see the Democrat, they love, the left and Democrats love to promote the mass immigration into our country until you start sending the bus loads of the people.
Just send them on to Biden's house. You know how well that works out over there, or Pelosi's house, or some of these other ones. But now the Palestinians, they want to bust them over here too. Oh my God, no. We're talking some seriously screwed up people over there.
So are we done? I mean, I haven't been convinced of anything, just so we're clear. Like, nobody here has convinced me that, well, as far as like, I'm not against like people coming into the country from the southern border or any of that. I do worry about, especially the mass amounts of people coming from like all over South America into the country. Who's coming in with those people? I do worry. I think that could be bad, but and nobody's convinced me that like white people becoming a minority is going to improve things. I don't understand this idea that that's going to make things.
It's not going to make
progress and get better.
Inevitable.
I don't think that's actually happening. I think people that make that claim are a little stupid.
No, it's inevitable.
Okay.
I mean, that's what
I'm
everybody's
not saying
saying.
like people that make the claim like Bill Maher did, not like saying it's I think it's a little dumb. If you look at Hispanics, according to the Pew Research, I can link it in the chat if anyone likes. About 50% of Hispanics that come over to the United States by the fourth generation identify as white, and that gets more and more as the generations go. So Hispanic people are generally coming over here, acclimating to our customs, and eventually calling themselves white.
Ted
at a pretty
Cruz.
high rate.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not Hispanic people, as far as I've ever encountered, are good people, and I have no reason to think that they're not. And I don't think that they're bad people or anything. But yeah, I'm thinking in terms of millions of people, and then how that's going to work out as far as how society is structured and which direction we go, whether it be like a far left direction or a more centered or right leaning. You know,
And could you blame that really on the Biden administration for not properly processing? We're not really taking in that many legal immigrants per year. We're taking in 900,000 last year. That's not particularly a high number. So the fact that they're so compacted in certain areas, like there's a border town in Texas that had like 15,000 people, and then they put like fucking 10,000 migrants there, and it like completely blew the town's economy out and destroyed it. So like you have to properly put these people in certain areas, and when you have Texas doing it, and I get it's a good political dunk, but when you have Texas doing it, they're just sending it to blue cities, which could overload those cities that aren't ready for it. But if you had a good government program,
but they're the ones that are promoting it, so they should get it. They should get it, and
agree.
they have no problems. They have no problems with these border states getting it, and they're not prepared for it. So
but a
The
better precedent,
900,000 you're talking about.
yeah, it's not really. It's a drop in the hat compared to the United States population. At
did you say that was illegal or legal?
legal ones?
That'd be
Legals.
illegal.
That's great. I
Okay.
want more legal, more of
But
that.
even
and
for
We're
the
not
legal,
getting that.
I'm just curious how accurate the
because
numbers
I know
are. that's
legal
all.
people genuinely want to be Americans, which I'm all for. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what religion or what culture.
Yeah,
I
'cause
welcome
They're
them.
already going through the paperwork to do the whole thing legally, so that you think they
Right.
actually care about the rest of the paperwork.
Exactly. I have no problem with that. It's just this mass, millions of people just coming unchecked, almost like through the. That's frightening to me, and I don't think it'll end well personally. And nobody has made an argument. Dank, I don't know where he went, but he made no argument for why. You've done a pretty good job, I think, Tyler. I think you've done a good job explaining, that
I
Bill
think
Maher talking out of his ass, basically. But the thing is that there's lots of mainstream big people saying the same things.
I think that if Atlas or Liberal Cluck was here, they would revert to, as soon as we talked about the border, the fact that it's not an open border and that it's not actually a mass immigration situation.
I was
what
gonna
is
make that point as well.
If it's not
7
mass immigration, what is it?
7 million people have come to the border since Biden took office.
Yeah, it's
5.5 million
Right.
turned away. So
Wait, how many have been turned away?
5.5 million of the
Really? Is it that many? Let me look that up.
I think so. I think 1.5 million they said were lost in the interior somewhere.
Maybe
look
I'm just
at how
drinking the
it's affected
propaganda
other
Kool-Aid then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's what's happening. I guess I'm not digging deep
So,
enough. I honestly don't dig at the numbers.
3.8 million migrants have entered the U.S. since Biden took office. 1.5 million snuck in and are still here.
How do you know? How do you know if they
That doesn't
snuck
sound right
in? Who's counting the sneak-ins?
Shoot, muddy
I think it's
footprints,
the-
Brandon.
Well, there's also camera footage and stuff where people are getting in, and there's tons of footage out there. People just streaming in through areas where there's no authorities or anybody to stop them. And
Why do
there's
they
tons of
keep
footage.
saying
I got to say, there's also lots of strange footage of border agents like cutting down fences and shit and letting people in. Like, what's that about?
But
Well,
no,
they don't
no
want them to
more,
get hurt in the fence, drone.
No.
Come on.
no more border agents on horses. Ooh, that wasn't a good look.
In
Right.
fairness,
Well, no, but that
with
turned out
the
no,
leash,
but you know that turned out to be all a lie. The
I
whole
think
thing
it-
turned out to be a lie.
I know. I think personally it was awesome, and they were stopping people from running over the border, and we're on horseback. What the hell's the problem?
All right.
No.
Well,
the police chase, when you start going real fast, and you either tell the police, stop chasing that person. We have their license plate, we have their address. You're going to cause a public incident if you chase them through the streets that quick. Stop pursuing. That's the same idea. Don't make them walk through barbed wire fences let them come through, and we'll process them. We'll let them apply for asylum. If they get turned down, we'll ship them out. So,
Yeah. How much does that cost?
a bit.
$7.38, Robert.
All right,
Yeah,
I've got
I
a few.
didn't think, I didn't know
Everybody, I hear a
It's
ton of police sirens outside. If I get swatted, I'm just letting you know right now. Like, so I don't know. I hear a ton of
Well, don't
sirens
put your damn
outside. I don't
address
know what's
online. What the
going on.
hell's wrong with you?
It's not. It's not.
Okay, I've got a
I don't
few.
think that's gonna happen. I'm just throwing it out there. It's so weird that they're fading away now. Never mind. There they go.
But I got a question for the group.
Okay.
You have legal immigration, you have illegal immigration. How
Yes.
much has it affected legal immigration?
How much has what affected legal immigration?
How much has illegal immigration affected illegal immigration? No,
Right.
sorry, I have it back. How much has illegal affected legal?
Gotcha.
what I
Gotcha.
Well, it's a good question. I would think that if people could risk it and have a good chance, because I just got finished doing the legal route, and you have to have your ducks in a row. You have to have the money to do it. You have to have support. You have to have all these things.
Who are you paying?
You have to pay the state for all the paperwork and the government.
How much time did it take?
Back and forth, I'd have to go again and figure all that out. I don't think it took too much time because
20
we were in
hours,
a very
say?
good situation.
What'd you say? 20 hours and $10,000?
It was close to $10,000 to do it for both of my boys.
Okay.
And no, I think it was closer to $7,000, but that's a lot of money for me.
Sure.
You have to pay that for your boys.
And for the time, I would like to thank my wife for helping with all that stuff. So I'd have to ask her for the actual numbers.
Right.
If I had to do the paperwork, it probably would have sucked because I'm not good at that stuff.
I had
Lots of whiteout.
Okay.
I had a couple of questions as well.
Are you gonna finally convince me, Dank, of why it's progress for whites to become
I've just got a couple of questions for you. So I posted a chart. I posted a chart earlier in the chat. It was an animated chart that I pulled out of Wikipedia when I looked up the demographics in London. So the last year it stops on is 2021.
Oh, I see it.
So exactly which culture is it that's listed here that's bad and causing all of the problems? Because it doesn't really seem like they're replacing white people.
I didn't
because
say.
This chart. Hold on a second. This chart shows.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. Okay,
this chart shows that the demographics of London is still more than 50% white.
More,
yes.
you need to go to Birmingham.
Okay, Birmingham's not in London though.
Hold on, I'm looking at my own. Hold on, I'm looking at my own real quick. I was just going. I literally, guys, I don't have time to look a lot of this shit up. I'm so I was just going based on what they were talking about. I assume they knew what they're. So I'm looking it up myself now. I probably should have done that. I'm looking. So it looks like.
Can I answer
You're right.
while you're looking
so
that up?
Yeah, white. You're right. White right now is 53.8%, but that says 2021. Why is there no 2023 data?
Well, I mean, this was pulled off of Wikipedia in like 5 minutes, dude.
Oh wait.
Every time I try to look things up like that, I kind of get rerouted to other things. I've probably lost my gift for Googling things, or I don't really know the right keywords to Google in these things.
I know what you mean, man. You're good, man.
I used to be really good at finding things on Google. Everybody asked me to do it. But yeah, according to this, as of 2 years ago, it's still more than 50% white. And the other,
yeah, you're right. I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing that too.
You're looking at the color of this chart. I would think that the ideologies would be shifting based on religious beliefs of the people coming into the country, because it seems like. Go ahead, Robert.
You just need to go over there and pay a visit. All these statistics have no meaning until you physically go over there. It's changed so much.
Yeah, I've seen videos that show how.
No, I mean
changed,
I've been there. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it has changed.
I believe
so
you.
much.
So I mean, so Robert, could you say? So my only experience was more in Australia, and there was
Yeah.
a lot of Islamic people coming to Australia, and in a short period of time, halal laws were starting to be on the books. So it was actually changing politics in a very short period of time. Would that relate to your experiences? Not so much just for Islam, but would you see religion coming into an area and changing the politics more than just the race of the person?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Take Sweden as an example. I mean, they pretty much destroyed that. So, and my wife's Swedish, and she refuses to go back there. She cannot. She doesn't want to go back to Sweden because she's afraid of being raped. She her
Wow.
yeah. That's how bad it's become. So regardless of what you guys think, yeah. I mean, granted, the white race has never been what you might call the sunshiny example, but for the most part, what's being replaced by is not going to be good for the long
Look,
term.
yeah. I mean, I'm not like I feel like I've made it very clear. I don't want to virtue signal anymore, but like I don't hate any groups. Like it's not a race thing. Like I know Dank is convinced that I'm talking like racial purity, like or something like that, like a racial nation. It's not like that at all. I'm not calling for an ethno state or anything like that.
There's no such thing as
But I
racial
am
purity.
worried. I am worried about not as good culture replacing a good one.
Okay, and
Yes.
so I do want to touch
Real
back
quick,
on that
Dank.
again. Yeah, sure.
Dank, I did put an animated graphic in the back chat that does your pie chart from 1961 up to 2021.
Yeah, I think that's the
So
same.
when you
I
see
think that's
that,
the
you can
same
see that
thing.
there is a vast.
I just screenshot. Yeah, it's the
Before you
same
guys-
one. I just screenshotted it instead of linking it. I didn't really know if that it
Before
would
you
do
guys
that.
go down your other tangent, Knight,
It
can I
worked.
ask Robert's question real quick before you go down another tangent?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, that. Oh wow, yeah, that is different. The people can see it now that are watching. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look at the animation there. That really, yeah, you were misleading us there, Dank. Very misleading,
So-
sir.
No, I
Robert,
wasn't. What's
Yeah.
misleading about it?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I mean, the biggest
Your question was
go ahead.
It is misleading a little bit. What you
how
presented.
has illegal immigration harmed legal immigration? Correct.
Yes, that's my
Okay,
question.
So I would say in practice, not that much. In theory, probably a bit. We have anywhere from 12 to 22 million illegal immigrants in the country. And I would say the looming presence of that group of people has probably caused us to take in less legal immigrants than we could have in that time and not upset our labor markets and things like that. But otherwise, a lot of the programs that these people draw from, there's no, it's not like a or a zero sum game. There's no rate. It's really just costing them as much as any other taxpayer to pay for illegal immigrants, and that's about it.
I can buy that.
Can I throw another question out there real quick
Right.
that we've kind of not covered? Like, why is this only happening in our and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is happening in other countries where the population of that, like maybe India or Pakistan or Iran or like wherever, like those. All right, like whatever, Mexico, pick a country. The countries that people are coming from that are coming here, are those countries diverse?
No.
Okay, so why is it only our countries?
Allowing it?
Why is it only the white majority countries that have to be diverse?
They're not Democrats.
No, Dank, can you explain that? Like Japan, would Japan be better if it was a majority white? Do you think?
Okay,
Dank?
well, because wait a minute,
Would they progress?
I was asked a
progress
question.
into the
Let me
future?
answer it. Let me ask.
Would they
let
be
me
like?
answer it. Would you shut up and let me answer? Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your answer. I can't wait.
The answer to that
Angry
is
white
very
dude.
the answer to that is very simple. The American culture has, for the entirety of our country, been that we are a nation of immigrants, and we welcome immigrants here. I mean, we were gifted.
You're not answering my question.
We were gifted from France a
Can you
statue that was built by slaves to depict our freedom.
What? You rewriting history now?
Hold on. No, let's not. I don't want to let him get away with this. I don't want to let him get away.
yeah.
And anybody else, you got to
Yeah, my
explain to
house
me.
was built by slaves, by the
The
way.
Statue of Liberty
Explain to
was
me.
gifted to us by France and was built by slaves. Yes.
Right. You're right. And I talked about that earlier. Yeah. Anyway, explain to me why it's advancement in progress for white majority countries to become white minority
because that is
countries,
our
but
culture,
literally
dude.
every other country in the
You're saying you don't like American culture. You're saying you don't like American culture when you're saying that you don't like that immigrants are coming into this
America. A majority, an American majority, all white people should move to the countries, take them over, and make them America. What are you saying?
I believe people
I'm
should
down.
move to any country they fucking want to, or stay in any country they fucking
You used
want
to do that, Tron.
Right, but what other country is held? Like only Western countries are held to that standard. No other country is.
Okay, wait,
Dude.
wait.
I wonder about it.
Wait, let me answer that. Okay, I can answer it from my point of view. I don't live in other countries.
Right.
I want my country to depict my point of view, or to pattern after my point of view, which my point of view has been bred to me by my culture.
Okay. So, from your point of view, from your culture that's been bred in you, Japan, your views, your perspective on Japan would be better, correct? If it were like a minority Japanese, right?
I don't care about Japan. I care about America.
No. Why can't you answer the question though?
Because I did answer the question. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they do in other countries.
You won't answer it. You won't answer it because you know it would not be. Japan would cease being Japan.
What would it be?
No, Australia is now Chinese.
Wait a second. What would the land of Japan be if all white people moved there today?
It would not be. It wouldn't be Japan anymore.
But why? But why? That landmass is known as Japan. The things that are in that landmass are known as Japanese. So why would a race moving there change what that land is?
Oh, you mean like Australia?
Well, over time it would fade away.
Turkey, all the rest of them?
Over time it would fade away. That's what would happen.
Yeah. Every nation fades away.
Right.
It would,
right, but we got it right. That's inevitably what happens. But I think the goal is to keep it chugging along as you can. Why are we committing suicide? Is what I would ask. But
you cannot immigrate.
We got a good thing going here. Let's keep it going.
You cannot immigrate to Saudi Arabia. You can't integrate to pretty much any country in the Middle East.
Okay, but I've got a question. Why is American culture?
Answered me though.
Why is American culture in your eyes a suicide pact?
Ducking me, Dank.
Why?
Okay. Wait. Okay, so what does America mean to all of y'all?
It means Star Trek, man. It's like freedom, liberty, Hollywood, pursuit of happiness, exploration into every frontier. That's what it is. Titties, titties.
That's a good question. I had to think about that one. That's a good question.
Texas
IPAs, beer bonging IPAs, and then smashing the can on my head. That's America.
Skateboarding.
That's a very, very good question.
Well, I mean,
no,
Drone. I see your point of view. If that's your point of view of America, so nowhere in your point of view of America.
America, you and I both know that no other place is America in this world.
Greetings out.
But I wouldn't live here if I had a choice.
Okay, but look,
I was born in Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't live in the U.S. anymore.
But okay, look, I'm trying to explain to you, Drone, that I understand your point of view since everything that you listed is what you believe America is, because everything that you listed did not include immigrants.
No, it does. Immigrants. Yes, immigrants.
But that wasn't the first thing that came to your mind, dude.
Man, why do I have to virtue signal that shit every time? I already said multiple times that like I'm all for the idea of groups and religions and everybody coming together in a common cause here.
Look, dude, you're always constantly talking about the left doesn't care about America and the left hates America, and I'm telling you that my view of America is that we are supposed to be a land of immigrants. What we were taught in school. I don't care what they're teaching right now. what we were taught in school, because we're all old men
Okay.
right here.
Can I ask you? Right.
Hey,
can
man, I
Can
resent
I
that.
stop you and ask you one question? And this is it. So when all the Europeans came over here, in my opinion, I know this might sound harsh, but like the culture that came over here and basically did like kind of take over the land, they were a superior culture. Okay, so it was an improvement. It didn't work out so great for the indigenous people, I agree, but in the end, it was an improvement. Like the people that are like the millions that are, and maybe all of them are amazing people, and they're going to make this country like way better. And I do hope that is what happens. But like we're talking about people coming from cultures that are not as good, from ideologies that are not as good.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Like, what do you mean
why do you think the European culture was an improvement over the native culture of America?
Well, that was, I mean, the native culture of America at the time was basically it was just out of like, you know, caveman era, you know, I mean.
No, wait a minute. No, they weren't. No, they were not. They were in tune with, they were in tune with the land.
It was.
They were hunter gatherers. The things that
God.
Shut up for a second.
Stop,
dude. Shut the fuck up for a second and let me fucking talk.
In tune with the land. They were barbarians.
In tune with the land.
They were I'm
sorry. Wait. Who was it that the goddamn white people? Who was it that the goddamn white people asked to show them around this fucking country?
No.
Was it another white person that they brought with them?
I saw that movie. It was Pocahontas.
I saw that movie.
I read that story when I was in school because, as I've said, I'm an old fucking man. Look, dude.
Oh, God.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, anyway. I don't know what your point was there, but
I think his point is that if we put our ear to the ground, we're not going to be in tune. The Indians we will never listen to the earth.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
That would have worked out better. Personally, I think it would have been cool, but
why is it when people?
It would have been cool if our cultures would have intertwined better and developed together. That would.
Let me ask you a question. Why is it when people want to learn how to survive outside of society right now? What things do they learn?
Well, when I went to survival school, we learned how to set traps. We learned how to skin. We learned how to read footprints and all the rest of it.
Okay, and now what? Now, wait a minute. Now, what in all of that is not a Native American trait?
All of it.
None of those are traits.
None of those.
When Europeans when Europeans first got here,
let me throw out there.
When Europeans first got here,
in Europe didn't know how to do that.
Of course they did.
You think they were taught by Indians?
Hey, let me just throw out. Hold on. Let me throw out there that
there were things that they did not know. Yes,
literally, the definition of racism.
Your topic is racism. You wanted to change topic and wanted to bring the dank is really cute.
I don't want to change.
No,
I don't want to change. But
really
he just assigned a trait.
This entire topic
just assigned a trait to a racial group. That's racism.
You talk culture and skills.
Look,
you're sharing skills with the culture. You need to actually try to be charitable. You need to try it for once.
I was joking.
You are not joking. You are not joking. You are being as little charitable as possible. I don't care if you're being a little charitable. Let me bring the temperature.
I'm glad you're here, Atlas.
Be charitable to his argument. Stop joking about it and address it actually.
I did. You just got here, by the way, right?
You're right. I got here 5 seconds ago,
okay.
and already I can hear how bad faith you're being.
Slow your roll, because I've been here doing this for like an hour now or whatever.
Dude. I've been listening.
Okay, so chill out. Go ahead. Say your piece, Atlas.
Go for it. Real quick before you guys go into it.
I asked you to try to be to engage with this argument in good faith. That was my ask.
I want to.
Then by all you now once again have my permission to have the floor to speak and try again.
All right, before you guys go back into it, I want to make a point about the skills of different nations having survival skills. They may be different skills, but I do believe that every nation has people with survival skills.
And the survival skills are probably in tune with their culture per
In tune for
per
their
era.
land.
Like the Celtics probably had their own culture, while the Native Americans had their had others, right? I mean, like,
Right. I would think
Can
we
we
would
try to
benefit
be
from the natives in their land, wouldn't we?
I agree. I don't understand how this is so crazy to engage with. It seems very easy to engage with.
Well,
What's easy to engage with, Atlas?
I mean,
Specifically,
my
what's
whole
easy to
whole
engage
point, has been that,
Your
that
whole
no
point
culture
is
is better
our
than
culture.
another. I'm gonna go
Right,
get a
no
drink.
culture was better than another. You came in here saying that we can't. Our culture was.
I didn't say that.
awesome.
I didn't
You
say no
said-
culture was
you-
better than another.
You
What?
did. You said our culture was way better than
No,
theirs.
right.
and
I said
that's
that there are. I didn't say no culture is better than another.
glad
I
we-
said there
it's
are
recorded.
better
We can rewind the tape.
cultures.
I'm glad it's recorded. We can rewind the tape.
What? I never. My entire argument is that there are superior cultures.
It's been like 3 minutes, everybody. So roll back 3 minutes.
Everybody.
Atlas,
Does
his
anybody here
stance is
honestly
that there
think
are better
that
cultures
I
than others?
believe? Does anybody here honestly think that I believe that there is no superior, that all cultures are equal?
This is where they edit flash cuts to you saying it like 4 minutes ago.
I never said that.
Having a hormone overload. He sounds.
I do believe that cultures in the past believe they were superior to other cultures.
No, I
That is
definitely
historic.
think there are superior cultures. I think our
I
culture
mean,
is
Japan
superior
was
to the culture of most of these illegal immigrants are coming from.
You go way back in time, and just about every culture out there thought
What
they were better than the
about
rest.
what about immigrants from our southern border? Is it inferior or superior about them? What about those cultures make them inferior?
I shouldn't say
Like-
culture, actually. I should say the societies they came from, not their
Well,
culture.
it's your topic. You got to pick
No,
it, right?
no, look, so-
is it culture?
right.
Is it race? What is it?
What is my topic? What is my topic?
It was
Debate.
change-
Replacing white majority countries is progress.
Mass immigration is a bad thing.
No, wrong.
It is
It's
a bad- it is a
debate.
bad thing.
Replacing white majority countries is progress.
I'm reading the
topic.
prompt. I'm sorry.
Okay,
My
well,
fault.
it's
It's my
all
fault for reading the debate prompt on the screen. My fault.
Is it? Wait, does replacing
This
white?
This chat room is a different one. I'm trying to fix it now.
What are you talking about? Is it?
Yeah.
Does replacing white people make society better?
I got here just 2
Replacing-
minutes ago, everybody.
Replacing white majority countries is progress. Like what you were saying was something. Or anyway,
What about our Latino and Hispanic brothers and sisters from south of the border? What traits are they bringing in that's making our country bad?
I didn't say necessarily bad. I just you're coming in so late to this. You did not listen to the whole thing. So
Brief me. Do it in 2 minutes.
I will
So-
brief you. Okay, so
In
I
full
have
think
no
it's an individual
problems.
basis.
Listen, I have no problems with people of all cultures, religions, skin colors, whatever, coming here. I prefer it legally. But what I want is all of us to be at least have a common idea of a common trust of what holds our society together, and not like these like completely divergent ideologies. And it seems like with the mass amounts of people that are flowing in, I know that Democrats hope that those people will come in here and give them a permanent majority. I know that it may not work out that way. It hasn't actually so far. So,
because they're mostly evangelical, right? Most of the people coming in are
right,
religious
right.
and spiritual, and that
Exactly.
conservative values.
Right. Here's the thing, and I talked about this earlier, is that I do worry with the propaganda onslaught that our government and media are engaged in against their political opponents, that the millions that are coming in now will be easily susceptible and swept up in that, and they will be easily manipulated into the Democrat, and they're getting a lot of benefits when they get here. And if they're dependent on these benefits, then they're going to vote for who they're getting those benefits from. I'm just saying that there's definitely questions if this is actually a good thing for the country, or as the title of the stream is replacing a white majority in countries. Like, why is this considered progress, as Bill Maher called it? He's so excited about it. He thinks we should get a pat on the back for it. I'm simply asking, like why? Why is that a good thing?
I have no trust or faith in you to characterize Bill Maher successfully. I want you to tell me.
I played the video and I took notes. I'll tell you what he said.
I want you, Drone Tech, to tell me your reasons. What traits do whites possess in America?
See,
Keeping the majority. It's part of your title. I'm asking you.
Part
What
of my
traits about the
title.
white people? What about being white makes it a majority country? What are we keeping when we keep it white? Other than the melanin on their skin.
Okay,
I'm asking you, what
so
are we
it's
keeping?
obviously I'm not. You
Good
know,
music.
you're just like Dank, like you're coming at me like I'm some kind of like
you're not
ethno-state,
you're
like
not-
I'm some sort of
what I'm saying,
ethno-state
you're
nationalist
offended.
or something.
You're offended because I asked you one question. I asked
No,
you one question.
Right. Okay. So
Racist bastard.
I don't think any of that. So
I didn't say
your
it.
question's
I asked
bullshit
you
right
one
off the bat.
question. I asked you,
Okay,
what about
hey.
white people? Because you're saying it's a problem if white majority is a
I'm
bad.
saying
it's
that
being removed.
the white
You
majority
disagree with that
United
assessment.
States. I'm saying that the so-called white majority United States, the white majority other Western nations have done pretty well. The societies have done pretty well for a long time, and that like.
What about white is important? What about the
It's
whiteness
not-
is important?
It just so happens to
just
be
happens.
like, look, so it's funny that you're telling me, hold on. Okay. So one thing here. So the Smithsonian and some black group, I can't remember what they're called. They put together, it listed, are you familiar with this, Atlas?
No, I'm not. I couldn't give it.
Okay. So do you know,
what the Smithsonian is?
Okay. So they put this chart and it's called.
Did Smithsonian put it out, or did somebody?
Hold
put it
on,
out?
be quiet.
You
They
asked me-
they
tell me to be
said.
quiet. And I'm asking for
You won't
clarification.
let me finish. You won't let me finish. They put this chart together saying this is what white culture is, and it listed out all these different traits of white culture, and they were things like the nuclear family, saving money,
We don't have those anymore.
time management. The scientific method, they were calling these things white culture. So I'm operating under that standard. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you
The standard
some
that
token
the
idea.
left and the
I
Democrats
found you
and
found some
the
token idea.
Smithsonian.
I want to link it.
say.
Let's see it. Let's see this. Let's see what
All
it
right,
is.
one
Let's see
second.
it.
All right,
He's
one second.
talking about whiteness generally.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's
What do
he
you think,
said.
Tyler? What do you think for our whiteness? What do we have as a white people that's our strong point? I've been racking my mind and I don't know what it is.
I think he's using white as a stand-in. For
Sorry, I'm listening to the most racist conversation I've ever listened to in quite a while, outside of work.
Well, sorry, Robert, but I am curious for the question. Like, I just think of myself
I'm
and my
sorry.
family.
I was talking to my
I'm
wife.
putting
I
it
wasn't
in the
talking
chat.
to
Do you see this, Atlas? What I'm putting in chat?
What they're saying about white is they're using it as a stand-in for Western culture, though. Essentially, it's not.
Right. That's what I'm talking.
Those are-
I'm just talking about whatever the group of people who have been behind the societies that have been most successful to this
A
point.
cute screenshot of something that has no citation.
No citation.
Well,
It says right there. Like, oh, hold on, one second. Hold on.
Okay, so all right, so I can back Drone up on this. This was put up in the Smithsonian a few years ago. It was there
Oh my
for
God!
like
Everybody,
it was there for like I don't know how long. They got blowback from it. They took the shit down.
Whoa! So they took it. So hold on, it got criticism and it got taken down. So it's
Yeah.
not
No,
even
but
current.
does anybody deny that this is
No,
what
notice-
the mainstream left
You're
thinks?
outrageous. It's not even a current. It's not like a policy. It's just, you got triggered
Okay,
over
here we
a sign.
go.
You got triggered over a sign. Good
Oh
job.
boy,
asked
here
him
we
how to
go.
You asked him to define whiteness. He gave you a poster.
I-
This is how I want to define it.
I asked Drone Tech to define whiteness, and he
Bro.
told me he deferred to somebody else's stupid
Wait, you
idea.
didn't ask me to
Like this.
define whiteness.
I absolutely
You asked me-
roll back the tape, everybody. Everyone, it's a good thing it's recorded.
I talked about this earlier. I just said, like, European cultures. Obviously,
glad I
it's
came late.
like a banner. Why? Why? I don't even know why you'd ask me that. Like, what's the point?
My
What are
point
you trying to prove?
I am trying to ask you, what
You
about
said what
the
trait? You said what trait do
that's-
white people possess?
I have not finished one sentence.
That's
May
what
I
you
finish
asked.
one
You
sentence?
asked me what trait,
Drone Tech, will you allow me to finish one sentence?
and I'm giving you a list of them.
Drone
There
Tech,
you
will
go.
you allow me to finish the sentence?
Yeah, I give you a list of traits.
Drone Tech, will you allow me to finish the sentence? Yes or no?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. What I am trying to get at is, what are you associating with? What other characteristics about whiteness are you associated with? Because for me, all I see is a melanin count in their epidermis.
I'm not talking about whiteness.
You lied. You lied when you said I could finish. You lied when you said I could
Go
finish.
for it. Go ahead. I already know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
Such a liar, drone tech.
So yeah, you don't even need to
No,
because
yes or no?
it's not about skin color. It's about
You put it in the title. You're the
No,
one who's
because
saying that
that's
there's
the
a
way-
problem. So
that's the
for
world
me,
we live in. So I have to
what
talk
I'm
about
saying-
it in
what
that.
I'm saying is these traits that you are calling Western are learned characteristics that can be taught to any human
Exactly,
who has
I
an
agree.
equal brain. So
I agree.
nothing about immigrants who come across the border cannot be taught. There's nothing intrinsic about
agree.
these immigrants.
I
Well,
agree.
okay, well then I'm glad we agree, and this debate's over. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with all of that. I have no disagreement there. And in
That's
fact,
super
I would say that this
Super
list of
Fabio
things.
part.
Hold on, listen. I would say this list of things that the Smithsonian, and it wasn't just them. I got to see the other group here. It was some black
Former
group.
Smithsonian page that is no longer there.
Right. But
Okay,
they did put it out
Let me-
there.
let me
Hold
clear.
on, listen. I would say that this list of things is very Asian. I would say like a lot of these things are things that Asian culture prioritizes.
For
And so it's
Racist.
definitely not race related. I would say
who
these.
is in this
What I would
Discord-
say. What I
when
would say. Be quiet. Please, Atlas.
for putting box. You don't give me a chance. I'm not going to give you. You know what I mean? You
I would
don't
say
respect
this is a
people's
list.
kindness, I'm not going to give it to you, right?
I would say this is a list of things that ends up in successful societies. Is what I would say.
It's entertaining for a while, but if you guys care too long, I will give other people a chance.
Yeah, I'm done.
I would like to hear
I'm
something.
losing my voice right now.
I already
I'm still
won. So
sick.
I'm done.
I
Go
still
ahead.
don't
Somebody
feel
else.
I mean, you didn't already win, dude. You like.
I don't know who you are, average debate listener. I really don't care, dude.
Yeah.
I all you've given me is shit talk. I'm glad you do research. You have some good research tools. But since you met me, I have no idea what your problem is. You need to take the stick out. You need to take the stick
a
out.
little whiny kid throwing tantrums. So
I am probably older than you, dude. I am probably older than
Hey,
you.
hey, kiddo.
Dude,
Shut the
Atlas
fuck
is
up.
I am
62 years
probably
old.
older than you. I am 162.
He walks with
So-
a walker with the tennis balls on it. So
Like,
It
it's
sounds
just-
of it.
so-
You're 69.
I get the free handicap space.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get back to the actual subject, man, because again, it's really easy to figure out what you mean by white or whiteness is the standard of Western culture, and you don't want it supplanted. We've already talked about. We've already gone over the fact that you're fine with legal immigration as long as it's not too much to change the culture of the place. I want to say, though, a lot of the talking points you guys have been bringing up from England, these were really good talking points in 2014, 2016, when these roaming rape gangs were happening. There's been persecutions, there's been deportations, and that rape rate in England has fallen. Oh, it's the same thing with Sweden. A lot of these problems have been taking care of themselves with time. And now France is even going overboard to the point where they're deporting people that are saying that they're pro-Palestine in too aggressive of manners. So
I think that's crazy. I don't like that.
they don't have First Amendment over there. They're very happy to kick people out that don't eventually assimilate to
Yeah,
their
I
culture.
don't like that at all. I don't like that happening here either. Except for the people that tear down the signs and they get on video. I think that's free game.
Stand up for Doug Brandon, who's had a very good 2013 in terms of his presidency, best one yet. So he put a law in order in February of 2023 that if you get caught sneaking over the border, you're not allowed to apply for asylum for 5 years. So
Wow,
I have a
what
question.
an open border! What an open border!
I have a well, based on open border, yeah. So when you look at the chart that was put earlier, where it shows over time, like from 1960 something, where it was 90 something percent white people in London, I guess, and then it showed around 1990, it really started to jump in immigration. For ourselves, what is the difference between before the open border and after the open border of the influx of immigrants? And the second half of that question is, how long will it take for us to actually see statistics to show better information? Because right now we have people that are talking about certain things like crime and whatever, or jobs and whatever. If anyone has any thoughts on those two questions.
I know that I think as far as U.S. whites, I think we're still like 65%. Apparently our birth rates are keeping up or something. I don't know what's going on, but we're still like 65% of the country somehow. Yeah. Well, I got 4 kids myself, so.
Hispanics, dude, they're starting to fucking every year. More and more Hispanics start identifying as white.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they get called white when they commit crimes. The media is like, they're white.
36% of Hispanics in the United States identify as white.
Have you seen people have been posting on Twitter these crime pages from law enforcement from around the state, and they count these clearly like Mexican people, like South American people as white. in the crime stats.
Yeah, I don't
black,
believe
too.
I don't
There's,
believe
black
just
people.
every screenshot post that I see people posting online.
No, I know.
It does,
There's
though. It does.
it's a rabbit hole. There's maybe we do a stream on that, but yeah, it's been confirmed. It is happening.
See,
it is real. We can go into it, but yeah, it. Do you want to go into that?
Well,
I
all right. Well,
I
kind of wanted to bring up, because the question was asked. The pie chart looks crazy right around 90s. Well, the pie chart just shows the number the number of ethnicities percentage over the course of that time. It doesn't give you any reasons why those immigrations started, or why those die-offs might have happened, which is another question that I'm asked that I wanted to ask. So where are all the white people going?
Just birth rates, and right, they're not going anywhere. It's just
Okay.
birth rates are going down, and
the bloodline.
Okay, so what you're saying is that white people need to start like fucking more, stop using protection.
Well, no, our borders need to be secured. That's all. Like, there's just millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people coming in. Like, what do you think?
But wait a minute, dude. If the white birth rate is falling, then white people are going to be replaced eventually anyway. So even if you lock the country down, what is going to guarantee that white people still exist?
I never said.
So no more abortions.
And I never even said. I've made it clear it's not necessarily connected like skin color. Like, it's just like it's an understanding of.
You're just grouping them. You're just grouping the boxes together
of the Constitution. No, look, I brought up the Constitution earlier. No, listen to me, Atlas. I brought the Constitution earlier as an example. Our own culture is losing sight of how important the Constitution is. Much less people by the millions coming in from a country that has no concept of what it is.
Remove the Constitution, right? Like,
wait,
it has.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
You pointing to the Constitution has nothing to do with like immigration. Like, I have no idea what you're. I still don't know what the problem is. I still have no idea what the problem. Where are we culturally dying?
I just told you. Where I told you a problem. A misunderstanding or an ignorance of the importance of the Constitution, and the fact that in our own culture, without immigrants from South America, without that, we have a serious issue with people not under. It's a joke.
When I say you're shadowboxing, what do you think I mean?
What? Fighting with myself.
Yeah, very good. You do understand.
So real quick, I want to jump in there about the Constitution a little bit for you.
I was making a point about why the mass illegal immigration is a problem. How's that shadowboxing?
Hey, average debate. Listen, what were you saying, dude?
I want to just jump in really quickly and talk to you about the constitutional infringements of the past. So during the Civil War, Lincoln suspended the First Amendment and was arresting reporters that were reporting positively on the South in the North. So we've had infringements on the Constitution throughout history. I'd argue that right now it's a bit better than it's ever been. And with police in particular, that's a really recent cultural shift. They still talk about the old days. There's still police officers that were there during the old days where if somebody talked back, they just beat the shit out of them.
Just killed them.
That's a really recent.
There's a famous video. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah. That we have all these police rights, these rights with police for citizens is a real new thing that has been getting better with time. So it does look like police don't care, but they've had to care more now than they ever.
Look, dude, I've had my life threatened. I've had my life threatened by a cop. Pulled over, had weed in the car. They was searching me, had weed in the car.
He was threatened by a police officer.
Yeah. So I was pulled over years ago. Had weed in the car. It was like a quarter pound or something. So they had me on the hood. They're like, searching me and everything. One of the cops searched me, telling me, "Go ahead, man. Please move. Make any move. I want to shoot you." This was 20 years ago.
Profiling, dude. Just because you were the only person driving down that sidewalk and he pulled you over.
Yeah, welcome to America.
But no, I mean, like, my point is that, like, cops, you're good. Cops are okay with just shooting citizens, and that is what the problem is. I don't really care if they're okay with shooting white citizens.
I may not like Tyler, but let me just seal him in. You would say that it's better now than it is 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago.
Definitely.
Okay, well, I think it's to Tyler's point is that there are periods in history that are far worse than there were today.
And the biggest infringement on the Constitution is a president who refuses to step down from power and asks his vice president to amend and withhold the Constitution so he can stay in power.
Yeah,
I don't like Tyler very much, but you should listen to him, bro. You should listen to him. I don't like him very much, but you should listen to him.
Follow me.
I think we get your point there, Atlas.
Whoopie fucking do. Anyway,
You just come off so aggressive, dude. Just,
Me?
smoke a little bit of weed. Jerk
I want you to know, can I tell you something?
Are you talking to me or Atlas?
Already elevated.
No,
I'm smoking lots of weed here. Okay.
No, Atlas.
Yeah, but you're not tapping enough, bro.
I'm not. I want you to know this. I'm always at a 10. Okay, so I make sure that my engagements are rare minimum. I gave you guys a break for the first, however long you were here. Okay, chill. I gave you all a break.
I think you don't really address any points. I was really trying hard to address your point.
Every single one of your points.
I was trying to address every.
Don't say that. You're saying something that's not true.
Okay.
We're we can go back and rewatch
What's your
this.
point? What is your point?
What's
All right,
something I haven't addressed?
Let's have a final showdown right here. What is your point?
I haven't addressed. I'm going to ask you. What is something I haven't addressed?
The question: replacing the white majority countries is progress? Yes or no?
No. I disagree with the premise.
Okay.
I disagree with.
Well, that was the premise. Bill Maher said it. He said it on several shows.
You should be smarter than Bill Maher.
Well, he's not alone though. That's
He is
the
alone,
virtue signal
okay?
of the mainstream
You
left.
appealing to somebody else's virtue signal doesn't help anybody.
Atlas. Well, that's what this was based on, right? He said it was a victory. He said it was a victory, and that we deserve a pat on the back. I don't know who he means by we, and that we achieved this is what he said, and that there's more to do. And my question is, what is that more to do? What does that mean? More to do.
For we, you could say that media. He could group himself into that group when he says we.
But when he says, let me ask you this. How much influence does he have in media, right? I mean, I know some people are illuminated.
He's just echoing. He's just echoing the mainstream narrative, though.
Sure, he's echoing some people out there. You know what I mean? I can find kind of like what Tyler said. I can find people who will totally buy into Trump's narrative about anything, right? But the point is, we're supposed to come over with compromise. Right? We're supposed to find some sort of
I think
widely propagandizing it. They're trying to throw him in prison. They're literally trying to put him in prison before the election.
He's trying to go to prison by himself.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
I can't believe you fall for. Look at all the indictments. There's 100 indictments. That proves how real it is.
If I had an indictment from a judge, I'd be taking it seriously. I would be taking it way more seriously than
Hillary Clinton should have been indicted. Joe Biden should have been indicted.
What about isms doesn't address what I just said.
Should have, but they aren't because it's a system where they aren't indicted unless they need to get rid of them because they're a threat.
Just armchair.
When they're a threat, they do indict them.
Jerome, that Florida indictment is pretty serious.
No,
why can't you take any?
I bet nothing happens.
See, this is my point. You thought that there's a decay in people not taking the Constitution seriously, and yet here I have you as a demonstration showing how you actually don't care about what what other people's laws or you know what I mean? You actually don't care. No, you just said
but they have to be equally applied.
Equally applied. You just don't think they're applied.
No, they aren't.
Your team is losing, and you're upset about it.
They're not equally applied. That's clear. It's clear.
They are equally applied. The law is applied equally.
So why is it that Democrats, the media, can unleash this whole all these people in Hollywood?
I need you to be more specific for me to care.
Let's give
I'm losing my voice. I'm done anyway.
You absolutely go ahead.
Okay, I just want to interject with something quickly because I'm going to have to go. My wife came home and she brought up a point to me that I think is very appropriate to this conversation. I mentioned before that she will not go back to Sweden because it has become too dangerous. When Trump was around, she felt safe, but now she wants to carry because of Biden. That's happened only recently.
So-
regardless of what you guys
Robert, let me
think,
ask you something. Robert, let me ask you something when you're done.
What?
If I
Go
get robbed at night, should I never leave the house at night ever again?
no,
Unless you're
you
strapped.
should
Okay.
always be able to live,
So
but you have to be. It is
I
called
I
situational
don't
awareness.
agree with your characterization of how when Trump was in charge, that just the world was better. There's nothing magical about his ass cheeks being in the office.
But
Hey, Dick,
I mean, at the same time, that's
First
his
of all,
wife's
it was
opinion,
a
and
very,
his wife's
very
experience.
safer because police weren't defunded, and he had control of the
Police are
situation.
still funded.
Biden has control over nothing.
Okay,
Nothing.
there's nothing in what you just said that I can really address with. You
I don't
express your
care.
feelings, and I agree. I agree.
No,
I agree. You don't care,
This is
right? I
my
agree. You
wife
don't care.
we're talking about. So if you're going to talk about my wife,
I'm not
you're going to
talking
try
about
and insult
I'm
her,
talking-
my wife, I will
love
reach
Atlas's
down there,
style,
grab your
actually.
fucking throat, and
Look,
rip it out,
I did
show
not.
it to you.
I did not
I
mention
totally-
your wife.
I don't
I
care.
did not mention your wife.
You're trying
You're
to
just
symbolize
mad.
what her
You're
feelings
mad.
are. That relates into me, and I have no
I asked
problem
you a question.
hurting you.
Okay, but wait a minute.
I
Wait,
asked you
wait.
again.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Problem
minute.
is you,
What-
and you think that Biden, the Messiah, the glorious leader of all.
You're offended that I
fucking
said
Okay,
Democrats,
wait a second, dude. Wait a second,
everybody
dude.
in from
Cheeks,
every
that's
other
what happened.
country.
Wait
the
a
United
second,
States.
dude.
All right, Brandon, you have the mic. I muted him. So that was a bit
Okay.
of a derail, guys. I know you guys are passionate, but we got to take it back down. If Brandon felt uncomfortable,
We need
we
we
gotta-
need
we
to
gotta take it down
recalibrate
a notch.
something.
Okay.
Can I
I'm,
just-
Go ahead, Brandon.
Now,
I'm gonna
look,
walk away for a minute. I'll be right back.
I would like to kind of
Go ahead,
put
Brandon.
the
You.
thing out there to say that I personally felt uncomfortable when Trump was in the office.
I don't care.
Okay, so you don't care
I don't
about me.
care.
Atlas doesn't
I
care
really
about
don't
your
care.
wife
I don't care
because
about
it's
your
all of
feelings
our
one bit.
feelings.
I don't care about you.
Because like
if you
the
were laying in the street, I would step over top of it.
Real Christian
Jesus
behavior.
fucking Christ, dude. Okay, so like the right like to say under Trump, facts don't care about your feelings. All right, so yeah, your wife might feel uncomfortable, might feel not safe under Biden, but I don't know what kind of propaganda your wife is being fed, so I can't really account for your wife's feelings. You can't get mad at somebody for like trying to say that, and in my view, that's all Atlas was trying to say, and you completely derailed and like soyed out on that. So I'm done with that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
I can give
Okay,
you
guys.
more polite spin. Real quick, Robert, to help your wife better sleep at night, I would advise looking more into your state and local elections where the actual policing is held. You want to make sure you're voting for DAs that are going to actually fund police and prosecute crime. Biden has little to no control over your local police and what they can do. Yeah, a lot of it is your local and state elections. So I would just keep looking to the DA you're voting for. That's probably the biggest thing, and make sure you're voting for politicians that are going to fund police, and you'll be more safe than most people in the United States.
I agree with everything
All
Tyler
right.
just said.
All right, the mic is going hot now. Let's be good, boys.
Biden has been in charge. This is what's happened. And this is what he's created.
Did he not
So
stop
you guys
talking
can
the
take
whole
and live
time?
any way you want to live. But as far as I'm concerned, we packed now because of him. We didn't before. And if you try to rob us, yeah, 2 in the chest, double tap, and you're done. No problem stepping over the body.
Got to make sure they're not a zombie.
I hope you live in a
Oh,
standard
definitely. You ain't got
ground
tap in the
state.
head then.
I just hope for your sake
yeah.
you're in a standard ground state.
Just so you know, guys,
I think
I
you
just
need to
want to
relax.
leave with that and just go home because the wife wants to go to bed.
Go to
But,
bed.
you know, you always got that one individual that just pisses you off. But in the
It's
end,
definitely me. I totally agree with you.
Hey, send your wife
oh,
her
definitely,
best,
oh, it's
man.
definitely drone. You know it's drone.
No, I said me. It's definitely me. So there you go.
Just keep in mind, wife is off limits.
I didn't talk about your
I'm
wife.
fine.
man. I didn't talk about your wife.
I promise not to touch
No,
your
you
wife.
apply.
I did not imply shit. Stop it.
Keep
Be an
going.
adult.
No, fuckface, stop it. Okay? You're talking about some guy who has no problem insulting you just as a
Right.
hobby.
Do you think I have a problem?
Okay.
This is why you're already mad at me. I
No,
didn't
you
even.
don't even know how to speak
I
English for the most part.
disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I demonstrated the illogical pattern behind Well, it was dark. Trump was president then, and so now it's they're
No,
safer. You
have
didn't
no
do any
logic
kind of actual
backing it. You want to
analysis.
hear her voice? You want her to tell you
Sure.
herself
Sure,
that it
man.
was back in the day of Trump day that she
I would
felt
tell her the
safe,
same words. I
but
would
under
ask her
Biden's
how.
day, she did not?
It's the one
Do you
worded
want,
question.
you want my wife to say it to you physically because you're too dumb to take and realize it?
I would
Did you
ask her
think
the same
for
question I
once-
would ask you, dude, is how, right? We would get into the actual evidence on what makes people safer in Sweden. Or what country is Sweden or
Oh, yeah.
Switzerland?
Let's run. All right,
Yeah,
so
what-
let's run with that. Actually,
Wait.
Atlas. So if
God,
to
I
ask
hope I
her
never get
directly
into
if
a
she's willing to
situation where I
share.
have to ask.
I
What
don't
is it
want to.
somebody
I don't
wants
want
my
to. I
wife
don't
to
want to.
come
I'm just pointing out
into
that
a
I just
debate.
I'm curious.
She just shook her head no. She doesn't want nothing to do with you guys.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to include her. I was just saying I was pointing out the logical fallacy of pointing out that when the sun is out and something bad happens, it isn't the sun's fault.
I come from a country where the think so much. No. You're too narrow viewed.
Yeah,
You really got to get out one.
10 years out of the country definitely wasn't enough.
Son,
No, you need to go
Mr.
somewhere more
Golden
dangerous
Sun,
ones.
please
I promise.
shine
I promise.
down on me.
I have done exactly as you
Why
asked.
can't we?
Have you gone to
be
Iran? I
friends?
think you should go there.
Why can't we be friends?
Look, man, I'm chilling. I'm chilling, dude. I don't like this average debate viewer, dude. He pokes fun of me all the time, but he gives great stats, all the time. So, you know what I mean? I can disagree with somebody and like them at the same time.
Okay, I'm now
As
asking
far
a
as
question.
I'm
Stats should we talk
Biden is
about?
before the United
I'm
States.
asking a question.
And,
real
and
quick.
I've seen too much. Next
So
to
I would-
Carter, he's the worst
Baby?
president I've ever seen in my life.
Do I
If your
need to
wife is
stop?
willing to tell you, just in summary, what has happened since
Okay,
Biden has been in
Well-
office that she can recall that makes her
what's
feel
raising your blood
uncomfortable
pressure?
enough that she wants to carry when she goes out? Because
That is
I
an
carry when
excellent
I go
question.
out.
Hold on a second.
I
Hold on a
carry.
second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Did you hear what their question was? Can you repeat the question?
What has happened in the current presidency that has caused you, that you can recall, to want to carry when you go out, as opposed, what is different? As before you felt okay, you felt safe, and now you feel like you need to carry when you go out. Can you give us examples of things that make you feel that way?
All she's doing is waving her hands off. She doesn't want to talk. She's afraid of getting involved because she knows how heated it got with me. She doesn't want to get involved with the conversation. She's just
Robert,
staring.
she's your spouse. Why don't you interpret what things has Biden done to make her her feel less comfortable? You can steel man this, dude. I believe in you.
Is there anything you can
What has
remember
Biden done?
that she's
What was the
Hold on a
question?
second. Hold on a second. Hold on a
What has
second. Let's go.
Biden done to make Robert's wife specifically to feel less comfortable in Sweden?
no?
Right? Was
in
that-
America.
No, forget about Sweden. Sweden's a dead country. Back in hold on one second.
Well, that's what was the original thing.
I'm gonna
Was.
mute
Well,
this
we're changing
while you
targets.
talk to him.
I'll give one thing
Hold on a second.
as far as Americans, but
So, but I asked him. So his wife
do
is
you got, Drone Tech?
uncomfortable now, and
I mean, he
I'm
called.
asking him what makes her uncomfortable. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say one thing he did is during his weird red wedding speech where he called a good chunk of the country semi-fascist. I think that's pretty threatening, especially combined with the media offensive of the Republicans are literally a domestic terrorist organization and should be treated as such and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I talked to her.
Do you think that kind of rhetoric is reprehensible?
Hold on a second. I
On the
asked
media, absolutely.
Do you think when Trump does it, it's reprehensible?
Second, Robert.
When Trump does what?
When he uses vitriolic rhetoric to describe.
I think when he said the media was enemy of the people, he was dead freaking on. I think.
Okay, so you don't see how you're kind of like lopsiding this argument here on your own personal biases.
I'll lopside it. I know it's not that cut and dry, but I'll go that way just for the sake of doing it.
Okay,
Can we quickly hear
the
Robert's
audience answer for me?
Can we
All right,
Robert?
I have an answer to your question.
Sweet.
All right. So I asked her. And so it basically boils down to the fact being the media.
Wow. I already said that.
Yeah.
Based
but
on
I
what
needed
she's
to hear it.
receiving from the media, she feels scared that she's going to be attacked based on what's on the media.
Negativity, constant
I'll
negativity.
blame the media.
That's what she said. She blames mass migration in the media.
Who here has watched V for Vendetta?
I
Just
have.
recently.
Everybody's
Super
seen
assault
it.
movie. Everybody here, I think, is an anti-government shill enough to love that movie, right? I totally
Thanks,
agree.
I didn't like the ending.
I
So
totally
this
agree.
is how
in that moment when
democracy dies.
No,
I love that
when
part of the movie.
when he points out that it's everybody else's fault, it's your own fucking fault for feeling that way. It is.
That
when
was
you
my
guys-
favorite part of that movie is where she's like, "This is how democracy dies."
That's Star Wars, weirdo.
I know, I'm joking.
Okay, guys. Hey, all right. So I'm gonna have to roll.
I'm retarded. I'm sorry.
So it's been fun screaming at everybody.
Thanks, Dank. You're
I'm
awesome,
gonna go
dude.
ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just like end on.
Hey, Dank, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and.
I want to say
end-
something before you go, though.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end on this.
Yeah, Ashley.
And then after you say something, I'll go ahead and go. But like my whole thing with this topic was that like the way that it was broached in the chat was that Bill Maher thinks it's great that white people are being replaced in London. And the more and more I thought about it,
Well, in general.
okay, but no, he didn't, because he was talking about London and he said that that was a great thing. So
Well,
I'm trying to get out of here, dude. I've really got to go, dude. So like his whole thing in both of those clips was that London was like 90% white and now it's like 30% white, which he got that completely fucking wrong, because in the chart that I could find, it shows as of 2 years ago, white people still were more than 50% of the population. But it's not just that. London is located in England. Last time I checked, England was an island. So of course, like, people are going to migrate into there, and like I don't know, man. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind right now, so I'm not even gonna go into that right now. I don't know
That's
where I
okay.
started. Okay, so
Can I just tell you one thing, buddy?
yeah, go ahead, because I'm done. I've got to go.
I know you got to go. I just
England's
want to tell
not
you
an island anymore.
congratulations,
Go ahead.
and I just want to tell you congratulations, and I wish your family the best, and thanks for being here, bud.
Yeah,
I
hey,
appreciate
man,
you
I'm-
being here as opposition.
Look, I'm doing my part to keep up the white race, so
All right.
Hey,
All right,
thanks, man.
guys.
Seriously though,
The wife wants
I
to
do.
talk to me on
Congrats,
the
man.
side. So yeah, I'm about to be yelled at. So I will talk to you guys later. It's been fun. Sorry about yelling and screaming, but that was all.